The revolutionary power of less, how fewer choices can transform your life. Welcome to the Black CEO Podcast. I'm thrilled to be here with you today to share some truly transformative insights that have the power to revolutionize how we approach our daily lives and long-term goals. These game-changing ideas come from an extraordinary interview with Charmaine Weatherspoon, a visionary thinker who's making waves in the world of personal and professional development. Charmaine's work is not just changing individual lives, it's reshaping our understanding of success and fulfillment on a global scale. Her unique perspective on choice and decision-making is nothing short of revolutionary, and I can't wait to dive into this fascinating journey of discovery with you. Imagine for a moment the last time you felt truly overwhelmed by a decision. Maybe it was something seemingly simple, like choosing a meal at a restaurant with a menu the size of a small novel, or perhaps it was something more significant, like deciding on a career path or where to live. In these moments, did you feel empowered by your options, or did you feel paralyzed? We live in an age of unprecedented abundance. From the moment we wake up, we're bombarded with choices: what to wear, what to eat, which route to take to work, which tasks to prioritize, which shows to binge watch, which social media posters to engage with. It's exhausting, isn't it? We've been conditioned to celebrate this abundance, to view it as a mark of progress and freedom. But what if I told you that this cornucopia of choice might actually be holding us back? Today, I want to challenge everything you think you know about choice. I want to explore a counterintuitive idea that flies in the face of our consumer-driven, option-obsessed culture. We've been told that more options lead to better outcomes and greater satisfaction. But what if the opposite were true? What if having fewer choices could actually lead to more fulfillment, better decision-making, and ultimately a happier life? This is the central paradox that Charmaine Weatherspoon introduced me to during our enlightening conversation. She calls it the concept of unique choices, and I promise you it's about to change the way you think about decision making forever. Now, I can almost hear your skepticism through the airwaves. How can having fewer choices possibly be better? I had the same reaction when Charmaine first presented this idea to me, but as we delve deeper into the concept, I began to see its profound implications for our personal and professional lives. And by the end of this talk, I believe you'll be just as convinced as I am. Let's start by considering a common scenario that perfectly illustrates the hidden costs of excessive choice. Picture yourself walking into a supermarket to buy a simple jar of jam. You're faced with an entire aisle dedicated to different flavors, brands, and sizes: strawberry, raspberry, apricot, blueberry, with seeds, without seeds, organic, low sugar, no sugar added. The list seems endless. You think that having all these options would make it easier to find the perfect jam, right? But in reality, many of us end up feeling stressed, second guessing our choice, or worse, leaving without buying anything at all. This phenomenon, known as choice paralysis or decision fatigue, is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the hidden costs of excessive choice. Charmaine's research has shown that an overabundance of options can lead to decreased satisfaction with our decisions, increased anxiety, and even a sense of missed opportunities or regret. It's as if each choice we don't make haunts us, whispering, "What if?" in our ears. But here's where it gets really interesting. Charmaine's concept of unique choices isn't about eliminating choice altogether. It's not about returning to a world of scarcity or limiting our potential. Instead, it's about curating our options in a way that aligns with our values, goals, and personal preferences. It's about making our choices more meaningful and impactful. Imagine if instead of facing that endless array of jam flavors, you were presented with just 3 options, each carefully selected to match your taste preferences and dietary needs. Suddenly, the decision becomes easier, more enjoyable, and more likely to result in satisfaction with your choice. This principle extends far beyond grocery shopping. It applies to every aspect of our lives, from career decisions to relationships, from financial planning to personal growth. By focusing on unique choices, we can streamline our decision-making process, reduce stress, and increase our overall satisfaction and success. Now, let's dive into the 3 key insights that Charmaine shared with me, which form the foundation of the unique choices concept. These insights are not just theoretical, they're backed by real-world examples and scientific research. And I believe they have the power to transform the way we approach decision-making in every area of our lives. The first insight is that quality trumps quantity when it comes to choice. In our conversation, Charmaine emphasized that it's not about having the most options, but about having the right options. She shared a fascinating study conducted by a team of psychologists at a high end boutique. They set up two displays of luxury chocolates, one with 30 different varieties and another with just six. Surprisingly, while more people stopped to look at the larger display, 10 times as many purchases were made from the smaller selection. This experiment illustrates a crucial point. When faced with too many options, we often become overwhelmed and struggle to make a decision. But when presented with a carefully curated selection, we're more likely to make a choice and feel good about it. The key is to focus on options that truly matter to us rather than getting lost in a sea of possibilities. Charmaine shared a powerful example of how this principle transformed the life of one of her clients, a successful entrepreneur named Sarah. Sarah had built a thriving business but found herself constantly stressed and overwhelmed by the sheer number of decisions she had to make each day. From choosing suppliers to approving marketing strategies, every choice felt monumental and draining. Working with Charmaine, Sarah learned to apply the unique choices concept to her business. She streamlined her product line, focusing on her best selling items. She narrowed down her list of suppliers to a select few who aligned with her company's values, and she empowered her team to make more decisions, reserving her energy for the most critical choices. The results were transformative. Not only did Sarah's stress levels decrease dramatically, but her business became more profitable and her team more engaged. By focusing on quality over quantity in her decision making, Sarah created a more sustainable and fulfilling business model. The second insight Charmaine shared is that constraints can actually fuel creativity and innovation. This might seem counterintuitive, but think about it. Some of the most creative solutions often emerge when we're faced with limitations. Charmaine gave the example of a tech startup she worked with. When they had unlimited resources, the team struggled to focus and make progress. But when they imposed strict budget and time constraints, they suddenly became more innovative, efficient, and productive. This principle applies to our personal lives as well. By setting boundaries and limiting our choices in certain areas, we free up mental energy and resources to be more creative and effective in the areas that truly matter to us. It's about creating a framework that supports our goals rather than leaving everything wide open. Charmaine shared the story of Alex, a writer who had been struggling with writer's block for months. Alex had always believed that true creativity required absolute freedom, no deadlines, no constraints, just pure inspiration. But this approach left him paralyzed, staring at a blank page day after day. Working with Charmaine, Alex decided to embrace constraints. He set himself a strict writing schedule, limiting his writing time to just 2 hours each morning. He also narrowed his focus, choosing to work on one specific story idea instead of jumping between multiple projects. The results were astounding. Within weeks, Alex had written more than he had in the previous 6 months combined. The constraints he had imposed gave him a sense of urgency and focus that unleashed his creativity rather than stifling it. By limiting his choices, Alex had paradoxically expanded his creative output. The third key insight from our conversation is that alignment with personal values leads to more satisfying choices. Charmaine emphasized the importance of understanding our core values and using them as a filter for our decisions. When we make choices that align with what truly matters to us, we're more likely to feel satisfied and fulfilled, regardless of the outcome. She shared a powerful example of a client who was struggling with career decisions. This individual, let's call him Michael, had always chased after high paying jobs, believing that more money would lead to greater happiness. But despite his financial success, Michael felt empty and unfulfilled. By helping Michael identify his core values, which included creativity, community impact, and work life balance, Charmaine guided him towards a career path that was ultimately much more fulfilling, even though it came with a lower salary. Michael took a position with a nonprofit organization that allowed him to use his creative skills to make a tangible difference in his community. While his bank account might have been smaller, his sense of purpose and satisfaction grew exponentially. This story illustrates how the unique choices concept isn't about limiting ourselves, but about focusing on what truly matters. By aligning our choices with our values, we can create a life that feels authentic and deeply satisfying. Now, you might be wondering how to apply these insights in your own life. How can you start harnessing the power of unique choices to transform your decision making and ultimately your life? Charmaine offered some practical strategies that I'd like to share with you. First, start by identifying your core values. Take some time to reflect on what truly matters to you. Is it family, career growth, creativity, health, or something else? Once you have a clear understanding of your values, use them as a filter for your decisions. When faced with the choice, ask yourself which option aligns best with your core values. Second, practice intentional limitation. In areas of your life where you feel overwhelmed by choices, try consciously limiting your options. This could mean creating a capsule wardrobe with just a few versatile pieces or limiting your social media use to certain times of the day. By setting these boundaries, you'll likely find that you have more energy and focus for the things that truly matter. Third, embrace the power of routines. Charmaine pointed out that successful people often have set routines for everyday decisions, like what to eat for breakfast or what to wear to work. By automating these smaller choices, you free up mental energy for more important decisions. Steve Jobs famously wore the same style of black turtleneck every day to eliminate one decision from his morning routine. While you don't need to go to that extreme, consider where you might benefit from creating simple routines in your life. Fourth, practice gratitude for the choices you have. While the goal is to focus on unique choices, it's also important to appreciate the abundance in our lives. Take time each day to be thankful for the options available to you, even as you work on curating them. This practice can help shift your mindset from one of scarcity to one of intentional abundance. Lastly, be patient with yourself. Implementing the unique choices concept is a process, and it takes time to shift our mindset and habits. Don't be discouraged if you find yourself overwhelmed by choices at times. It's natural. The key is to keep practicing and refining your approach. Remember, this is about progress, not perfection. As we come to the end of our time together, I want to leave you with a thought-provoking question that Charmaine posed during our interview. What if the key to unlocking your potential isn't about expanding your options, but about refining them? This question challenges us to rethink our entire approach to choice and decision making. It invites us to consider that true freedom might not come from having endless options, but from having the right options, choices that align with our values, support our goals, and bring us genuine satisfaction. The concept of unique choices offers a powerful framework for navigating our complex world. By focusing on quality over quantity, embracing constraints as a catalyst for creativity, and aligning our choices with our core values, we can create lives that are not just successful, but deeply fulfilling. I want to challenge you right here and now to take action. Don't let this be just another interesting idea that you hear and then forget. I want you to commit to making a change in your life based on what you've learned today. Start by identifying one area of your life where you feel overwhelmed by choices. Maybe it's your career, your relationships, or even something as simple as your daily routine. Now, I want you to apply the principles of unique choices to that area. Limit your options, focus on quality over quantity, align your choices with your core values. And here's the really important part. I want you to stick with it for at least 30 days. Give yourself time to experience the transformative power of this approach. At the end of those 30 days, reflect on how you feel. Has your stress decreased? Do you feel more focused, more satisfied with your decisions? Remember, this isn't about deprivation. It's about liberation. It's about freeing yourself from the tyranny of endless options and reclaiming your time, energy, and peace of mind. In a world that's constantly telling us we need more, choosing less, but choosing it well is a revolutionary act. It's a statement that you value quality over quantity, purpose over distraction, and authenticity over conformity. So I challenge you to be a revolutionary in your own life. Embrace the power of unique choices, curate your options, align your decisions with your values, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never imagined possible. Thank you for joining me on this journey of discovery. Now go forth and make those unique choices. The power to shape your life doesn't lie in having every option available. It lies in choosing the options that are uniquely right for you. Your future self will thank you for the courage and wisdom you show today. Remember, in a world of endless possibilities, the most powerful choice you can make is to choose what truly matters. Thank you